Boom, to going down, stone, down, down, bum, 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 down, go, bam, bam, bam. I really need a song because my singing is just not that good. Hello, hello. Welcome to another edition of Community Conversations, November 19th, Tuesday, 7 p.m. on the East Coast. Could be Wednesday if you're joining us from Australia. Selwyn may be here. We don't know. Welcome. As always, like to give a few minutes for people to get in, get settled, hang out. Sorry, I look a mess. It's been a day. But we're getting through it one moment at a time, as we say. So if you're here, say hi. Let us know you're here and where you're from, unless we know you're from already. And then you can just say hi. Got my IOCDF hoodie on. Amy Ellickson's in the house. See, everything's right with the world. We got Amy and Beth in the house. Hi, Jane. We're set. We're good. We just closed the doors. Don't need anyone else in here. Everyone else is, we don't need you. Go away. It's a joke. It's a joke. Shouldn't be allowed to speak right now. I'm clearly slightly frazzled, mostly fried, and all the things. Hi, Caitlin. Good to see you. Yeah, if you're just joining us, say hello. Let us know where you're from. And us, by us, I mean me. And for those of you that are new, welcome. I hope everyone is doing well. We'll get started in just the hood. The hood is fine. The foot is doing well. Thank you. Maybe just a little bit of pain here and there when I move it certain ways, but overall, I think we're definitely in much better shape. Wearing shoes, going on walks, doing stuff. So thank you for asking. Wow, there comes everybody. Hello, Alonzo. Hi, Caitlin. I'm so glad you're here, and thank you for sharing. Alex Shiro, thank you. Good to see you. Yeah, foot is healing great. All right, let me just get through the housekeeping, and then we can jump into conversation. So, as always, my name is Ethan, and I'm an advocate with the OCD Foundation, the IOCDF, the International OCD Foundation. This community conversation is intended to serve as educational content. It's not intended to replace therapy. For treatment-related questions, please be sure to work with your local provider or contact a local clinician. The IOCDF is not a crisis hotline. If you're in crisis or ever feeling suicidal or unsafe, please go to your local emergency room or call 911 or the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline by dialing 988. As always, we want to keep as safe a space as possible, so please know that we're here to support one another. This is being broadcast on multiple social channels and is being recorded, so please keep that in mind as you share. But at the end of the day, we are all here to support and care about one another, which is awesome. I love the question, Robert. What is your favorite Thanksgiving dessert? I have to say my wife's pumpkin pudding is really, really good. We had an early Thanksgiving. For those of you that don't follow Katie or myself on social, and Katie's parents came to town 2 weeks early because they're not able to travel for Thanksgiving. So we had an early Thanksgiving this week, and I will share with you the exposure that I put myself through, which was cooking a turkey and dealing with raw poultry, which was super fun. And if you want to see what that looked like, feel free to follow Katie. Reverend Katie Rev K runs for OCD, Stick with the Eck Lady, and myself. With all of that, how's everyone doing? What's going on? Okay, let's see real quick. I want to catch up on comments. Beth Carducci going through some stuff with psychiatrists and therapists. I feel you. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. For those in America, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Soon we'll be chowing down for sure. So thank you, Beth. Katie is rad. I agree with you. I should start that website. Beth Carducci coming in hot with the Dutch apple pie with vanilla ice cream and whipped cream. Yes, it is good. Although, funny story, there's an amazing bread company / bakery near our house that Katie loves and has been going to for years, even before we moved up here. And so when we went for lunch a couple Saturdays ago, we read they were making apple pies for Thanksgiving. And so since we were having ours early, we asked if they would make one for us. And at first it was no, and then it was maybe, and finally it was yes. So they made the apple pie, and we were so excited, and it was huge and it was beautiful. And we had it at Thanksgiving, and it was weird. There's no other way to describe it. It was a strange apple pie. It tasted not like any apple pie I've ever had. The consistency was not like any other apple pie. I don't know if it was Dutch. I don't know if it was German. It could have been Japanese apple pie. I'm not 100% sure what kind of apple pie it was, but it was not the apple pie that I and we and the rest of our family is used to. So that was a big letdown. But hey, you live and learn, you try new things. Hey, Dave. Good to see you. And like Robert, as I said, if you're here, please say hi. Let us know you're here. Let us know where you're from. How's everyone doing? As always, we're here to support each other, answer questions, talk about OCD, not talk about OCD, talk about life. So whatever, Amy and Beth are talking about something. Anyway, so please fill me in and let me know how everyone is. And Caitlin is from Virginia. Very, very cool. Is that the state for lovers, or is that West Virginia? I think that. Anyway, to get us started, because I think we all need a warm up, I will share with you, if okay, a exposure that I put myself through unintentionally and intentionally. So for those of you that know me, I have a lot of contaminated food OCD, in addition to self-harm. For most of the time, it isn't so much of a bother. But I did realize that in preparing for my first Thanksgiving hosting duties at my new house, at our new house, Katie and I decided that we would host Thanksgiving and make Thanksgiving. And I was, oh, you are? Oh, you're talking about me. Looked like he was going to throw up and cry. Oh, that's funny. I'm totally with it today. Amazing. So apparently in a picture, they thought I was either going to throw up or cry. The answer is both. The answer is both to that. So needless to say, yes, I know Dutch apple pie and I love it. This had the crumbles on top, but this was different. It's a different situation. Hey, Cash in the house. Good to see you, Cash. All right, so here's the deal. So I decide I'm going to make a turkey. I've never made a whole turkey before. I'm not a cook, and although I cook more than I ever have before, but that's not saying a lot because I didn't cook before. I heated things up, or what I call creatively organizing already cooked things. For those of you in the house that do that too, shout out. Just give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you too take things that are already cooked or ready to eat and mix them together. And that is cooking. And that is cooking. That is valid. So my parents are wonderful human beings that are also slightly anxious at times. And so cooking a turkey in our house is a big deal. So when I went to them for advice, it was kind of stressful. You know, make sure you do this, make sure you do that. Now don't do this and don't do that, and make sure you do that. And here's a very simple way to do it, but you also got to. Now, when I talked to Katie and her parents, they were like, you take it out, you throw some salt on it, and you stick it in the oven. There were two very different camps to this turkey approach. So I start Googling and looking up recipes. And I find a recipe that I like, which is basically a simple turkey that you don't flip or brine or fry, but it does have an herb butter sauce that you make from scratch that goes in and on top and underneath. And that's very exciting to me. So I decide that that's the turkey I'm going to make. I go to pick up the turkey early week. And as I'm picking up the turkey out of the freezer, my OCD and anxiety are okay, but I noticed like little holes in the packaging, and there's little things sticking out of it, and they look like bones, but I was like, is that the turkey? Is that not the turkey? Should it be open? Is it fresh? Is it not fresh? Did I contaminate myself? Is the turkey juice on me? So then it was like picking out fruit. I was like looking for the turkey that that looked perfect and had no bruising. And really, I was just picking up heavier light turkeys, and they all kind of had the same thing. So I settled on the size, bought the turkey, and moved it into my house. Then there was the thawing process. By the way, if you're bored or you have questions, please, 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 like, interrupt if there's important things to talk about. But I think this is funny and a true test of strength in our fight against OCD. So I put it in the freezer. Of course, then my dad's like, now it's got to thaw for 4 days because it's this many pounds, and you have to turn it over and make sure that it thaws evenly on either side. And thawing was a thing. I didn't know thawing was a thing. It was very clear to me the night before I was to cook it that, was the turkey making any noise? Now, I was making a lot of noise, and if it was making noise, you couldn't hear it because I was busy making noise. But it was very clear to me that I was a little bit in over my head. The reason being is that for me, chicken is very challenging. And although I eat chicken all the time, I haven't cooked it in probably 8 or 9 years. Now, could that be avoidance? Probably. I know. I called Jane. I actually called it PTTSD, post-traumatic turkey stress disorder, because I'm in trauma therapy. I can say that. But I also realized that, thank God I'm in trauma therapy, because now we have to address the turkey incident of 2024. But it was very clear. Oh, so yes. So either I'm avoiding cooking chicken or I just don't want to cook it. But if I were forced to, see, we all remember food poisoning from Boston Chicken in 2006, food poisoning from one of the great deep dish pizza places in Chicago, 2016 IOCDF conference. Horrible. Yes. Thank you. We're all there. Maybe we should, maybe instead of, I'm slap happy. I've been working since 5 a.m. and I'm fried, so I apologize. But with that in mind, maybe for a next question, I'll be on next Tuesday as well. 2 weeks of Ethan. How lucky. Instead of favorite desserts or favorite ice cream player, we should put, like, name the date you last had food poisoning, because I guarantee you most of us all remember. Amy, she can help me anytime she wants, Cash. Come on now. No. I'm very proud of myself, 100%. But it also, I like to poke fun at myself around this stuff. So if I had to go cook chicken tonight, I would do it, and I could do it, and I will do it. And it would make me anxious, but I would be fine. But why do it? So it became very clear after not cooking poultry for many years that this was going to be challenging for me. So I enlisted the help of my father, who is a turkey cooking extraordinaire master. And he came over and we got to work. So he takes out the turkey, and of course it isn't quite thawed, even though it sat in the fridge for 3.5, 4 days after the freezer. And so he said, the first thing we need to do is put it under the water by its legs and, like, shake it and move it and get the water inside of it. And all I can think about is, like, the water splat. People have different theories on whether you should wash poultry before you use it. We weren't washing poultry. We were thawing poultry. But still, it's in the sink, the water's hitting it, it's flying everywhere, and I'm trying to memorize where all the droplets of water are going so I know to clean them up later, because those are all now contaminated, evil turkey juice places on the counter. Fine. So he starts to do a lot of the work in the beginning, and I realized that this is not helpful. I can watch him do this, or I can do it myself, which was the original goal. So I said, Dad, step aside, you're my assistant, let me dive into this thing. And I did. I jumped in, I finished thawing it, I pulled stuff out of it, I threw stuff away from it, I massaged it, I dated it, I asked it out. We may have kissed. We didn't kiss, so that was one thing we didn't do. But I did touch it in appropriate and in inappropriate places, which is part of it. I learned I wasn't, like, being sick with the turkey or anything. I made the special compound herb butter. I was bent on making this thing. I grabbed globs of it. I reached under the skin and I put it through everywhere. And of course, then I was walking around like a surgeon about to be gloved during surgery after washing my hands. Like, my dad's like, why are you walking around like that? I'm like, because I don't want to touch anything. I will say, from a management standpoint, I did cheat on Katie with a turkey. I did. And you know what? I do it again, at least once a year. She knew about it, though. We have an open turkey marriage. It's totally fine. I think it's important when you don't have insight into something to have someone in your life, support therapist or otherwise, that has a baseline. So one thing, my dad obviously has been through the OCD journey with me, has done such an amazing job helping me get where I am today. And so I told him, I don't have insight. I don't know what I should do when. So I may ask you what you would do in this at this point. So when I felt the urge to wash my hands after I'd been touching it, but I'm supposed to put things away or season it, I would say, Dad, would you wash your hands now? And he's like, yep, I would wash my hands now. Okay, great. So I go wash my hands. And then he would say, no, not for 3 minutes. And then other times, I would say, okay, Dad, would you wipe this off right when this happens? And he's like, nope, just leave it. I would not do that. I'm like, okay, great. Then I won't do that either. It's really helpful. It takes a lot of the guesswork out. And this is true for any OCD symptom or subtype or whatever. Really, really, really helpful to have someone to offer a baseline. I do the same thing with my health anxiety. When I'm struggling with something or I'm not sure whether I want to go to a doctor or get a test, I'll talk to my therapist and be like, what would you do? What is the normal approach? That's awesome, Cash. What is the normal approach? So this was very, very helpful throughout the process. Got the turkey in the oven, and after clearly doing lots of things against its will to it, I felt slightly guilty. And honestly, it was a lot less gross than I thought it would be. Though it had its gross moments, but I didn't feel as icked out by touching it that I thought I would be. And didn't have a lot of anxiety and intrusive thoughts other than, I can't wait to clean my kitchen. That's kind of the biggest thought that was happening. After the turkey went in, we had the thermometers in it. I asked my dad to hang out for a few minutes while I clean in case I get stuck. So I know sorry, Cash. I know I'm going to get a call from like the Turkey Rights Federation or something, because I'm being like, I'm being really like turkey right inappropriate, like really tone deaf to turkey rights. Thank you, Amy. That's really all I'm doing, is trying to alleviate discomfort and make funny. So thank you. I appreciate it. I hope everybody appreciates the humor. If not, I don't know. I may not apologize. So I cleaned, and then I had a few things left to clean. So I said, go, Dad, I'm good. And then my job was to keep an eye on the turkey, check the temperature, tent the turkey. That's a thing. It likes to camp when it's hot out. I don't know. What happened was, when he left, I was just about to finish cleaning up when I remembered we washed the turkey and it sprayed places. And I got stuck cleaning. And I probably cleaned for about 30 minutes. And while that's not awful, it's a long time for me. And I probably scrubbed a little too long and worked up a sweat and made sure I hit all the spots and some spots beyond the spots to make sure that things weren't contaminated as we were cooking again on all the things. For me, it was less about the experience of working with the raw turkey and more about getting sick from consuming or working with it. After I snapped out of it and stopped myself from cleaning and just put things away and went outside to take a breath and just experience the feelings, I kind of realized that it was a little much. But that's okay. It's not about doing things perfectly. It's not about not compulsing. It's literally about challenging yourself to do something new, knowing it's not going to be perfect, and doing the best you can. And we definitely did that. I will say that waiting for a turkey to be done and monitoring different parts of its body to see what the temperature is really challenging and stressful. I found it very stressful. I don't know if people without OCD find cooking a turkey stressful. Dark meat is one thing, white meat is this. Maybe it's my OCD around is it cooked or is it not cooked, but monitoring two different things. It's very, very stressful. Like, I had a hard time with taking my temperature in high school, and now I'm taking a bird's temperature, multiple times. I feel like it's all coming back to me. It's very triggering. So I think I was a little manic-y around turkey. I don't know. I give the turkey 1 and Ethan 0. The turkey was already dead and going to be cooked. I didn't do most. I didn't do much with it. But with that being said, I was a little stuck on whether it was done, when it was done. Open it up, check, look, tint, checks. Is the thermometer working? Is it not working? Did I buy a new one? Is that battery working? We worked through that process. Turkey came out actually really good and was delicious. And I think we found a recipe for future turkeys with the herb butter. With all of that being said, when the family gathered and asked me whether I would yes, Beth Garducci, that is what they asked me. Would you do it again? I smiled and said, absolutely effing not. I had the least amount of fun I've ever had doing anything ever. I met with my therapist, actually 2 therapy appointments today. One with the trauma therapist, which I just started maybe about 5 weeks ago, and my regular therapist, Michelle. And she's like, you should at least try it one more time at some point. I'm down, I will. But I've discovered that I do like cooking things, and I've discovered like sort of a love for cooking. And if I had time, I probably would cook things more. Turkeys are not one of those things. I have ruled turkey cooking out. I don't want to be a professional turkey chef. I don't want to stick my hand up it. I don't want to thaw out iced turkey guts. That was weird. That fell out. I'm like, so, and in the end, even though it worked, yes, see, that's what my dad said. My dad said, even if you don't have OCD, cooking a turkey is stressful. So with that in mind, I think my turkey cooking days are over. There's a very real chance that I may try it again another time. But for now, I'm hanging up my turkey apron. So with all of that, if you go to here's what I'll do for those of you that don't follow. Let's see here. For those of you that don't follow Katie or myself on social media, let me just quickly drop this to myself. And I'll share real quick so we can all get a look at the crazy. Yeah, exactly, Amy. I'm going to stick with my video work. I am not, although, I am not a turkey chef. Share screen. Okay. Chrome tab window. Here we go. So for those of you that didn't see, this is me on Saturday. This is my cat apron. Yeah, that is, yep, cute kitties on it. That is true. My dad came over with an apron, so I thought to myself, I should have an apron too. So I went in the drawer, and that is what we had. And that is my hand inside the turkey. So as you can see, this feels a little bit like an SVU episode. I only say that because Katie watches it to fall asleep, which, by the way, I don't know how you all watch these murder shows to fall asleep. Katie is not the only one. Curious who here loves to watch like crime, murder stuff to fall asleep. It gives me nightmares. Anyway, this is I'm getting caught in the act. Regardless, this is me with my hand inside of the turkey, doing turkey cooking things and not happy about it. So there we are. Now you have proof. And no, Katie did not marry me for my turkey cooking skills. I didn't marry me for my turkey cooking skills. So ate the turkey, no problem. It was delicious. Had leftovers too. I did have a honey baked ham as a backup, just in case. Almost hired somebody to make a backup turkey, not trusting my own turkey skills. And that was it. So I honestly had fun. I actually, despite me being miserable, despite me causing a lot of anxiety and stress, I knew that at the end of the day, thank you, Jane. I appreciate that. So who is cooking on actual Thanksgiving? Yeah, saw that on FB. Dig the apron. Awesome. I watched Dr. Grande's videos for sleeping well. His voice is soothing. Thank you. But I know lots of women and other individuals that love like Law and Order SVU. Katie loves it. Like this is her sleep. Like I watch Elf to fall asleep, and she's like watching like Special Victims Unit, and it makes her calm and peaceful. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is so. I never watched an episode until Katie. I'm not sure. That's a great question. I think we're just going to do something low key on Thanksgiving, just the two of us, i.e. order in. Thank you. You don't look like a person who knows a lot of women. I know some women. Thank you for that. But just my wife and maybe one other. I don't know. But I do know SNL did a sketch on murder shows and women. So I'm partially playing it down, but thank you for pointing that out. I appreciate that. And welcome to the stream. You know what? As R4MP3X pointed out, apparently it isn't that weird. a lot of my work friends also watch murder shows to fall asleep. So, aw. I don't know if Katie's watching, but Amy disapproves. So that's all that really matters. Okay. No, you're totally fine. I actually thought it was really funny. Listen, you're totally good. Don't even give it a thought. I like how it came out. And welcome. I haven't seen you here before, but welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, that's what she says, Alex. In all seriousness, this is the point that she makes. TV stuff is less intense than anxiety. I've been listening to brown noise and it helped a lot. Also, it just helps you escape from the day. That is the methodology and logic by a lot of my female friends that talk about who watch those shows or listen to them, Dateline investigation podcasts and things like that. So yeah, agreed. Okay. That is 30 minutes about me, which is about 28 minutes too long. I want to know how everyone else is doing today. How is everyone? And yes, I remember Alpha Isostasia. I actually really liked that show. Yeah, there's white noise, brown noise, pink noise. There's a lot of different color noises, like noising at different frequencies that are supposed to help with different things. And people like different noises. We listen to white noise to go to sleep. So lots of noise. Oh, look who just joined. Welcome, welcome, Miss Katie. How are you? Beth thinks I'm not Beth. Amy thinks you're a little weird for watching murder shows at night to fall asleep. Just saying. We got talking about SVU because I showed the picture of what I did to the turkey. And so it kind of naturally segued into that. R4M, welcome, first of all. Thank you so much for coming and being here. This is a live stream put on by the International OCD Foundation. This specific live stream is I have OCD. I've been an advocate for OCD for over a decade, advocating on a national, international level. This is a safe space where we can all come and talk about OCD, get questions answered, support one another. The IOCDF has a ton of live stream programming. Some of it is educational, some is clearly not educational. But regardless, I've had quite a journey, as many of us had, with OCD, and so I like to share a lot about that. And so usually on these, we like to talk about what we're all going through with our OCD. A lot of individuals here are amazing advocates in their own right, support one another in the chat and comments, and as well as ask questions and offer experience of what they're going through. And just I speak to my own lived experience. I'm not a clinician. But I do know a lot about OCD based on my own experience having it and navigating treatment and therapy and coming out on the other end, and now in a place of maintenance and management with OCD. So if that's you or sounds like you or someone you know, anyone is welcome here as long as we're always kind and respectful to everyone. Oh, thanks so much. Well, we're happy you exist. And, if you just want to listen, there's no prerequisite to commenting or asking questions or anything like that. However you want this to go, that's why you're the community, it is your conversation. But please feel free to update, engage in conversation. There's so many amazing people here, except Cash. Don't talk to him. And see, I got you back for once, but now I actually feel guilty about it. Don't reassure me, Cash. But there's an amazing community. I've made so many great friends and humans. And so hang out and see what you think. But we're here for the hour. Cash is amazing. He lives on the other side of the pond and he gives me a lot of shit. So I occasionally like to give him shit back. See, he agrees. Just embrace it. Embrace the noise. Thank you, Cash. Okay, so I want to know how everyone's doing. Obviously, we're talking about now murder shows and 48 hours and Katie's founder people. Well, Amy Ellickson is not one of those people, just so we're clear. So again, I will ask, how's everyone doing leading up to Thanksgiving? We're getting to the holiday season. I know that can be challenging for OCD and anxiety and related disorders. So as we kind of gear up for that period of time, which is also a really nice time, how are you all doing? I realize that we have an international audience. Not everyone is having Thanksgiving next week. But regardless, we all have, I think, the season coming up. So, and yes, we can all be weird together, unless you watch murder shows to fall asleep. That's a little level of weird that I'm married. So please fill me in. Let me know how you're doing, or if there's a topic you want to discuss. I came prepared with raw turkey. I'm sure I can come up with some other things that I'm dealing with, if that's helpful. I put up a mini Christmas tree in my bedroom. I love that. Please tell me, I know this is like kind of a dumb question, but I know you have crab ornaments, right? Because that would be amazing. I love that, though. You'll have to send a picture. R4, looking for TV shows after work. Any suggestions, guys, girls, gals? Raw turkey got violated. Absolutely, and I'd violate it again, to be honest with you. I'm not apologizing for anybody. I stuffed that bird. I did. And it tasted delicious. No shame, no guilt. If anybody has suggestions of TV shows, to anybody that are binging or watching right now, it depends, R4, what you're in the mood for, or what you like, what kind of shows that you like. I have my weirdness too, Ethan, and I enjoy it. Me too. I am so weird. We are all weird, and we all embrace our weirdness, and I love that. A little crab Jesus, get out of here. Oh my God, that's so awesome. Please, 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 like, send us a picture so I can share it next week. You'll have to email me a picture. That's awesome. Or message me a picture. That's awesome. That's awesome. There's so many things I want to say to that. So I'll get started kind of shifting the topic a little bit. It's been fun. So I really do want to know how everyone's feeling and do a check-in. I'll just be honest about me, all joking aside around turkeys and stuff. I have a feeling Katie will love crab Jesus. So, oh, now we're going deep now. Robert brought out the crab nativity. Yeah, 3 wise crabs. That's right. You can also join on YouTube, R4. All good. I think everybody's talking about little bits of everything here, and I know that but yeah, most of these comments are from YouTube. So feel free to jump on via YouTube. Just go to IOCDF. Just Google search IOCDF YouTube. Should come right up. I'm all about crab. There you go. I'm all about crab nativity. As someone from Maryland. So, and Maryland has the word Mary in it, and it all comes together. So there you go. It's all connected, and it's been connected. All right, so let's see. On the anxiety front, I'll just speak first, and then you guys can let me know how you're feeling. Erica McCoy in the house did some great graphics for us today. By the way, virtual conference is coming up this weekend. If you're speaking, thank you so much. Excited to speak with you. If you don't know about it, you weren't able to make it to the in-person conference, it's a great way to join an IOCDF conference from anywhere in your home. You don't have to pay for travel or anything like that, just the conference cost. You can visit the IOCDF website to learn more. But this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, full of programming, amazing human beings, great talks and conversations around OCD and related disorders. Please, please, please check it out. It's a lot of fun. And if you can't be there in person, it's the next best thing for sure, as we slowly integrate having a live stream along with a live stream component of the actual live conference. Isostasia at 7:33 p.m. How are you guys doing after election results? I remember some of you were anxious about it. It's a great question. How is everyone doing? I don't want to get into a political conversation. It doesn't matter who you voted for or whatever, but everyone is allowed to have feelings and valid and anxiety or not anxiety or happy. So let's talk about sort of the feelings, how you're arising, if you're comfortable. I think that's a great question, Isostasia. And I think, election anxiety was very, very valid. Change can be scary. So it makes a lot of sense. Oh, thank you, R4. Appreciate it. Well, I'll let you weigh in on if you were experiencing, election anxiety, which was a very, very real thing, no matter what side of the aisle you're on. I think we can all relate discomfort around change and fears, and those are all valid as things can continue to morph and change. So 1000%, I know. Yeah, Robert wrote horrible feeling. Beth doesn't vote anymore. That's absolutely valid. I'll let a few more thoughts come in. I know Katie and I had a ton of anxiety around the elections, and I think, hello from Lebanon, Mario. Thank you so much for being here. Praying for all leaders and all of us. I think that Amy has more anxiety after the election for good reasons, but takes it a day at a time and stays grounded. I love that. If Katie and I talked about it, and I think what we were most anxious about was how our friends would be impacted in either direction, and seeing all our friends, like, we do a really good job of supporting one another, but we were concerned about our friends and how they would react and managing their own mental health and fears. I saw a big bumper sticker that says "Big Meteorite 2024." There you go. It's funny. So, first of all, if you're having anxiety, if you're in the US or not in the US, and you're feeling anxiety about this election and what it means for you and what it means for your family and what it means for the country that you live in, and all of that, that is so valid and understandable. It's also valid and understandable that OCD can latch on to that. I encourage everyone, there's some things we can do. It's a lot like COVID. There's some things you can do to manage anxiety around the election. First of all, as we're moving past that and into the next phases, hopefully you're starting to feel a little relief. I'm not saying from the election results, but that process as we move into other areas. I think one is try to limit your time watching the news. That can be very, very helpful. Especially if you kind of get stuck on things or become really anxious around what's happening or feel a need to know what's happening at all the times. If you want to get updated, pick a 10 or 15-minute window to watch the news one time during the day and then stop. I know that was really helpful for me. I'm not a big news person. I like to stay updated. So in the morning, I'll usually read the news on my phone, just the points that I want to know about or familiar about or that interest me. And then I kind of move on and forget about it, of course, unless there's an event or something. I think the other things to do as individuals with OCD, it's very easy for us to look at things that are black and white. Look at things in a black and white way, which only at the end of the day really hurts us and can definitely scare us. Yeah, Amy, exactly. It's all a balance. You're totally fine, Mario. All good. All good. My baseball coach in 7th grade called me Nate when I would run the bases. He'd go, Nate, go. And I was like, I have no idea who this guy is talking to. And then finally he's like, why do you call me Nate? He goes, it's short for Nathan. I'm like, my name is Ethan. So all good. Been Nate before, happy to be it again. And yeah, 2:30 a.m. is a valid excuse for sure. Anyway, obviously there's lots of feelings and lots of very strong emotions around the election. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. My only advice from my own experience is that your feelings are valid, your experience is valid, your views are valid, and just try to take a breath and know that there's lots of people experiencing lots of emotions with lots of opinions, and it's okay to feel what you're feeling, experiencing what you're experiencing, and also, hope for the best and for everyone and everything. And I think that is okay. And in the meantime, continue living your life, continue moving toward your values is the best you can navigate. And I think that's a good place to start. So, in terms of, I think uncertainty is really freaking scary, and we don't know until we know. So, navigating the unknown around that is very similar to navigating the unknown around our own OCD and related disorders. And so, we're a bit fortunate in that we have skills and tools that lots of other folks don't have. So we should definitely use those. I think the skills and tools that we talk about in this group and all the time, are really effective at navigating not just OCD, but navigating life. And I think this is a good period of time to start to bring those tools out and utilize that. So good question, Isastasia. Thank you so much. How's that? I hear you, love Lana, for sure. And that's all that we can do. It's a tricky conversation because I think that it's a great question, and I think we can definitely support all of our emotions. Katie did. And by the way, it's worth mentioning, I don't typically promote anything on here, but I will say, and this was something, obviously, Katie, my wife, runs Sick with the Ick. It's an amazing resource for individuals that deal with religious scrupulosity, no matter what your faith tradition may be. With that being said, it is not only for individuals with religious scrupulosity. At the end of the day, it's a very safe community like the IOCDF. What I will tell you is they've had some really amazing conversations on there around the political climate coming from every walk of life, every angle, every position, every party, everybody. And what I saw and what I've heard is that there was immense amount of respect and patience as everyone spoke from all sides, whether the political side, religious side, words, any side, gender side, or ethnicity side. So, if you want to have more conversations around that, I know that that's a wonderfully safe space to be able to have those conversations. And I know there are other ones too. I'm not at all saying that that is the only one. It's just the one that I'm familiar with at the moment. Obviously, live stream isn't the place to have that conversation, but just throwing that out there. So in other news, how is everyone doing? I think the election was one piece. How is everyone feeling? I'm just going to share. I'll share my piece of it. And thank you for being here and leaving your awesome comments. And yeah, there you go. We've had some amazing, compassionate, honest dialogue. Always, all are welcome. Thank you, Katie. And truly, I'm not being. You know me. For those of you that are on these live streams, week after week and month after month, I don't promote. For the most part, obviously, if you need resources, I'll give you resources and things like that. But I don't make a point of actively promoting Katie's stuff out of just respect for everybody. But that was really impressive, as is her app is amazing, and I know all of you already know it and you promote it here. But I like to be cognizant. The IOCDF does an amazing job of trying to create as safe a space as possible for any and all, and that is the most important thing. As well. But with that in mind, so I will share for me. For those of you that know Uma Chatterjee, an IOCDF advocate, she coined this phrase, or at least coined it to me, or told me about it. I have an MRI coming up on December 9th for the mass that they found in my stomach in March. It is a 6-month follow-up after getting pretty good news after 3 months. Needless to say, as Uma said, I'm having some scanxiety. I really like that word. I think that word is fantastic. Obviously, as it gets closer to that scan, I'm getting really nervous. And yeah, because they couldn't biopsy, and so that's kind of the only insight I'll have into what's going on. And so as it gets closer, I'm really nervous about what they're going to find. And of course, my OCD and health anxiety and illness disorder and all of that stuff is kind of screaming at me, exactly, scanxiety. It's screaming at me all the things it could be or might be or will be in the catastrophic thinking. And I'm sure many of you can relate to this. So just trying to take it a moment at a time, continue to live value-driven life, make choices here and now in the moment. I have to travel tomorrow, have a business trip. Tons is going on. Lots is going on. Lots are going on. Things are going on with work and friends and personal. So really just trying to stay as present as possible, stick with the facts that I have, which are good, and let that be the narrative until I know otherwise. And that's really hard to do sometimes, especially with health. Some of you in here, and I'm not going to name names unless you want to talk about it for yourself, but many in here also deal with health anxiety or health related issues. And you all inspire me greatly as you navigate your life and your health, and continue to show up and move forward and be a source of inspiration and hope for other people and myself. So thank you for continuing to show up and be sort of a bright light of motivation, and knowing that you're not alone in that is really, really helpful. So, and obviously as the holidays come up around that as well, I don't want to be, all the thoughts. So what's going on in your life that is sort of that you're, experiencing that may be triggering right now, or something coming up, or something that you're dealing with, please feel free to share. I'm going to take a drink. I will also say the virtual programming schedule is a bit all over the place, but I will be back next week. So you got me 2 times in a row, which is awesome because I haven't had a community conversation in a hot minute. I'll also be hosting the town hall on December 3rd, which is the holiday blues. So for those of you that do struggle around the holidays, we have a great panel and a discussion around how to navigate the holidays, navigating family and friends, and your own anxiety and OCD and anything else that may sort of get really loud during this time. And then, yeah, we resume. Who can believe it's already almost, we say this every year. I can't believe it's already almost the next year, but we do. We say it every year. This year went really, really fast. And so I saw comments. I just want to make sure that I'm still receiving comments, because usually they don't just, can everybody hear me? Am I still, somebody put in something because it got, oh, there we go. Okay. So we just didn't comment for 2 minutes, for 2 minutes. Oh, Isastasia, I'm so sorry to hear your doggy died. I apologize. I am so sorry to hear that. That's really, really hard. They're definitely not just pets, but family members. So sending you lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of love and virtual hugs and all the good feelings. Yeah, that's tough for sure. It is. Getting lots of love. The audio is a little choppy for anyone else. Okay, that's good to know. I'm not sure why. Let me check and see if there's anything on my end that's wonky. Test. I can try to switch to headphones to see if it's better. Let's try that real quick. Let's see here. Katie, did that help? The sound, is it less staticky? And I think that's a Matt Bannister. Okay, great. That helped. Why didn't y'all tell me sooner that the audio was bad? I'm so sorry. I think my mic is going out on my computer. Should really stop using an Etch-a-Sketch. Okay, perfect. Perfect. And Alex, I'm sorry, it's been a little choppy at times. You are too polite. Don't be that polite. Come on, summon your inner Cash. Cash, is Cash still here? He would have been like, I don't know what he would have said, but he said, I can't hear you. Or see, OCD says, well, they didn't want to hear me anyway because I don't say anything helpful. So like the less they hear, the better. So let's keep it staticky and we won't say anything. Oh, I love OCD. Isn't it fascinating? And if you reassure me, I'm booting you. So don't say, no. Oh, it just started. That's cool. Okay. That's cool. I was just confused because maybe it dropped for a few minutes. I don't know. Anyway, I'm really sorry for the loss of your pup. That's really, really hard. And at the same time, I'm so glad you're here and showing up and still navigating life. And I mean, that's a testament to you and your ability to sit with hard things. And because, you don't need OCD for that to be really challenging and really hard. That's a valid human experience, as I mean, they're all valid human experiences, but you understand what I'm saying. And so, we're here, we support you, and I'm sorry, that sucks. But I'm really proud of you for kind of hanging in here and being here and talking about it and sitting with the discomfort and going through that process of grieving. Molly Fishback in the house, not alone notes. Hey Molly, what's a put your, where can people sign up to send notes? I know the IOCDF teams with Not Alone Notes every year to do Christmas cards for individuals that are in residential treatment. It's pretty awesome. They've been doing it for a long time now, Morgan and Molly. Molly, if you just post the link where they can go, I'll reshare it on to all the other streams. There we go. Oh, well, of course. Okay. I knew that. For some reason, I thought that was a very specific link. That makes sense. I knew that. So yeah, if you're interested in sending Christmas cards and holiday cards to individuals in residential, visit notalonenotes.org. Great nonprofit. Molly and Morgan, they're phenomenal human beings, and we love them dearly. And you can check out how to do it and what to do. It's really, really good. And I know it's been, just to let you know how impactful it is. I wrote a Christmas card at some point for someone, not for someone, I know who, but I wrote a Christmas card, a holiday card, I think in 2016 or 2017 to someone in residential. And at the conference year before last, I think it was the year before last, they came up to me, had the card with them, it was framed, and told me how much it impacted their life. So, advocacy, you see us doing live streams and things like this. Advocacy is really not about the big things. It's about the personal connections. It's about talking with individuals. It's about letting people know they're not alone. And so, that really is where the magic of advocacy and the support really take shape and happen. So the small, yeah, it was, I totally cried. I was really taken aback by that. And so, I always say, boiled down, advocacy is just sharing your story with other people. And so, offering a little hope in the form of a card you don't even know the difference it can make in someone's life, to the point where they'll tell you, I was really struggling, and then it totally changed how I approached treatment or how I was engaged or making friends. I mean, it really was amazing. So A, don't sell yourself short. B, you have a lot more, to offer than you may think you do. Or if you know you do, I'm so glad you do. And know that everybody can touch a life and change a life. It's really important. So thanks, Molly. Appreciate you. Real quick, yes, anyone, Anxiety Society podcast, that would be Dr. Liz McInvale and Callie Warner's podcast. You can check it out on Instagram. It's really, really, really good. Mario wrote, do you have any idea if sleep disorder make OCD worse? I sleep a lot during the day and stay awake during the night. That's why I can follow these webinars despite the time difference. Great question, Mario. So I'll start by saying, only I don't know if you have a legitimate sleep disorder. I think that habit specifically is very common, and I think a lot of people can speak to sleeping during the day and up at night. I know that was a lot of my routine when I was struggling. You may not be struggling. I'm not sure where you are in your journey, Mario. What I will say is lack of sleep absolutely makes OCD worse. So, the effects of a sleep disorder, I'm not sure that the sleep disorder itself exacerbates OCD, but 100% lack of sleep impacts OCD, and it impacts your mental health as a whole. Just your ability to cope, navigate, think clearly. Sleep is such a crucial part of navigating mental health and mental illness and attaining a place of wellness. I have chronic insomnia, and I don't get a lot of sleep at night. So I've tried different things. I'm probably gonna end up doing a sleep study. So I totally relate to this comment. So the answer is yes. So behavioral changes that you can make, one is have really good sleep hygiene. What does that mean? Don't sleep during the day. And a lot of times people sleep during the day to avoid, it's the avoidance piece of like just not wanting to deal with the thoughts, the feelings. I'm not saying that that's you, but that is common. So things that I do for sleep are I try to keep my bedroom dark and cool. I try not to go in the bedroom except to sleep and or change clothes or whatever you need to do there. I try not to use the bed or the bedroom to read magazines, look on, who reads a magazine? read my iPad, play on my phone, play games, social media. I try to really just, my bed is where I sleep, and that's it. And so psychologically framing my bedrooms when I walk in, I start to yawn because it associates bedroom with sleep. Other things, you know, not eating right before bed, so I'm not digesting. The recommendation is turn off screens at least an hour before bed so you're not overly stimulated. You know, just having and keeping a consistent sleep schedule even through the weekend. Go to bed at the same time, wake up at the same time. If I'm tired, I don't nap. If possible, if you nap, obviously you don't sleep as well at night. So there's a lot of things you can do with sleep hygiene to really impact sleep, in addition to a lot of natural things and everything else. But in general, yes, lack of sleep can exacerbate and make anxiety and OCD worse for sure. Yeah, and Love Lana, same thing. Yeah, for sure. And that's not uncommon at all. I know so many folks that have flipped the days and nights and things. For me, when I was really struggling at different times in my life, I found the nighttime a lot less stressful because I knew people didn't need me for anything. I didn't have commitments. People weren't depending on me at night. So my level of stress and anxiety at night went down. I know for a lot of people it goes up because you're stopping your day and the thoughts just come flying in. For me, because I knew I wasn't required to do anything, my nights were a lot easier, especially when I wasn't working and just kind of struggling and trying to navigate. So I would sleep during the day, try to avoid as much as possible, and then be up at night doing whatever. And that was kind of, I too had a flip schedule as well. So that is not uncommon at all. Nikki wrote, we had, hi, Nikki in Dublin, my friend. Been an amazing day on Saturday. Andrew Gotworth organized the OC walk for Dublin. Amazing. And then a talk afterwards. It was really successful. And after nearly 5 years, we got news here that our OCD support group is coming back in 2 weeks. Only for you, Ethan, and the IOCDF in general. I would never have coped through COVID. But even now our group is back. I ain't leaving you guys. You're stuck with me now. I love this. This is such a wonderful way to start to end this live stream. You've been awesome, Nikki, and you've supported us through a bunch of stuff too. We need to come to Dublin and visit. Andrew is amazing asset to the OCD community and advocate. I love this. And just remember though, you got yourself through COVID. I'm glad that we were here to support. I think we all helped each other get through everything. But at the end of the day, you know, you had choices and you made those choices, and that's on you. So, you know, you're awesome, as is everyone in this stream. But I love seeing this. So excited to hear that we're trying to really make an impact, you know, nationally, and we're rolling out a bunch of really interesting things to continue to support and engage on an international level. You know, we have a new executive director. I don't know if you've seen or heard her speak. I know next year we're going to be doing a lot of new things. We're creating a lot of strategic planning around the next 1, 3, 5 years in a lot of different areas. And so the goal is to, you know, help as many folks as possible, everywhere as possible, wherever they are as possible, accessible, affordable, effective treatment, advocacy, resources. So there's a pretty amazing team at the IOCDF right now, and they really have everyone's best interests in mind. And I'm excited to see what happens over the next few years. I know it never feels fast enough. I know it's hard to be patient, especially when you're struggling. I know that feeling really well. But I think our community is in really good hands, and I look forward to see what the future holds. And thank you, Nikki, for sharing that. You're awesome. Sorry, I got stuck on that for a minute. Isastasia wrote, I'm super sensitive to sound and noise, and I live in the big city. Sometimes sleeping is hard for me because of external factors. So yes, so I have some elements of misophonia. I don't know if that's what you're responding to, Isastasia. It's not uncommon at all that individuals with OCD have a noise sensitivity. And it can be anything. So for Katie, it's ticking clocks or anything that just ticks very lightly will keep her up. For me, I had the most issues when I lived in a bottom apartment. So now I'm not so sure if it's just anybody in a bottom apartment is like literally living in hell, or it was misophonia. But the noises upstairs drove me, like it actually made me ill to hear them. So not uncommon. Noise sensitivity. And so, yeah, I totally feel you. Or a fan that rustles. Okay. Strangely, she can sleep through me snoring though. But that little noise, ACs in hotels, if they click or make noise, is something else. So that is not uncommon. And this is a great recommendation as well. Sorry, I missed it. I recommend a book, Say Goodnight to Insomnia. And reading is great. Like instead of a screen, pick up a book. Reading is excellent. I should read every night before bed for an hour. Beth Carducci, sounds, music, breezes through the trees. Meditation is really good for falling asleep. There are sleep meditations on a variety of apps that are really, really helpful. And when you want to fall asleep, like especially for us, it's this fear that we won't fall asleep. So it's going to sleep, being afraid that we won't fall asleep, trying to fall asleep. One of the things that really helped me with that was, again, treating this like any other OC thought, which was being willing to not fall asleep, not being afraid to not fall asleep, being open to the idea that I may be up all night and I'm okay with that, and taking that pressure off of myself to fall asleep, in turn, helped me fall asleep. I actually have a really easy time falling asleep. It's staying asleep that is really challenging for me. And yeah, Nikki wrote, thanks for that, Ethan. By the way, I completely sleep through the day and up all night, have done for years. And while I'm totally a night owl, I'm absolutely sick of it now. Yeah, I mean, listen, I know tons of people that is their schedule. They are musicians or artists, or they work at night or whatever. You just have to make sure that it's important to check in with yourself and make sure that your schedule, if it is flipped, is because it's value driven. It's because you want it to be that way. It's because you're more creative at night, or the things at night, or you work at night, or that's just when you thrive. Just like there are morning people and there are not morning people, right? So the most important thing is there's no judgment as to whether you're a night person or a day person, or you do one thing or the other. The most important thing is that you're living in accordance with your values, right? And if you're sleeping during the day and up all night because of, either anxiety or OCD or a sleep disorder, it's valid and helpful to go get things checked out and start to tackle them, because you deserve to live the beautiful life that you deserve to have, and the life that you want. And that's really, really important. I love AC sound too. I love AC in general. AC is my friend. I think we should give the Nobel Prize to the person who invented AC. Many Nobel Prizes. All right. With that, I will forever have the crab nativity scene stuck in my head for the rest of the week with joy in my heart. I absolutely love that. With all of that, thank you so much for joining me. This has been a really fun, I don't know why I'm squeaking so much. This has been a really fun community conversation. They're all really fun, but this was quirky and weird and strange and silly and also helpful and just kind of a good release to the end of the day. So hopefully you all felt the same. Thank you as always for your support, your comments, your advocacy. Thank you if you're new to this and you're thinking this was awesome or what's wrong with this guy. Either one of those is a compliment. So thank you for being here and joining us. Thank you, Mario, for being here late in Lebanon. We really appreciate you and anything we can do to support you. Support in the Middle East is really important to us. So thank you so much for being here. As always, I want to thank the IOCDF. The IOCDF is donor supported, so feel free to make, you can always check out iocdf.org/donate to make a donation. Please follow, like, subscribe, all the social media channels so you'll be notified when we go live. We also have calendars on the website so you can keep up and mark it on your calendar when Ethan will be next. And yeah, as always, if you need resources, have questions, you can always visit the iocdf.org and reach out to info@iocdf.org if you need anything at all. And thank you. Appreciate that, Robert. You're so welcome, Mario. With that, as always, stay safe, stay vigilant, feel the feels, don't let OCD off the hook. I will be back next Tuesday, so I look forward to seeing you all then. Have a beautiful week, a safe week. Be kind to yourself, be compassionate to yourself, give yourself lots of room. Don't forget the virtual conference. If you're able to make it, check it out on the website, and we will see you next week. With that, have a beautiful rest of your day, and we'll talk to you later. And now I have to find, oh, there it is.